Hey guys, JD from Best MMA Picks here. I'm going to be breaking down UFC 201 taking place in Atlanta, Georgia this Saturday, July 30th. It's going to be Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Tyrone Woodley. Very exciting fight. Very excited to watch Robbie Lawler in the octagon again, facing a pretty tough opponent in Tyrone Woodley. A definite threat here. We've also got several other good fights on the main card and in the prelims. Some definitely some underrated fighters on this card, and we've also got some up and coming UFC prospects too. So a lot of exciting fights here. Very much looking forward to it. Before we start anything else, make sure you subscribe below so that you're in the know when we release our videos, when we release our leans, our betting leans and picks. All of our official picks are in Capper Tech. You can get those at the link below. We post them usually the morning of, when the fight card happens on Saturday mornings, or we will post them on Friday nights. You can get those 100% free. Check out that link below. Also, check out our portal page where you'll find everything you need to get started with UFC betting. And a good sports book also that we recommend with all of the props that you need, all of the live betting, everything under one roof, 5dimes.us. That's also in our description. So moving on, we will start this off. I'm going to give my main card leans and picks. They're not official picks. All the official ones go on Capper Tech, but these are my leans as of right now. And then I will give my gut picks for the prelims fights. Now, keep in mind, take these with a grain of salt. Like I said, these are gut leans, basically. So don't be throwing the house on anything. All right. We'll start off with our main card prediction. The first one, Ian Uncle Creepy McCall versus Justin Scoggins. I really like both of these fighters. I like the Ian McCall of old, battling out with Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson back in the day for the flyweight title when they made that division. Ian McCall has looked really good in the past. He hasn't looked the best as of the present. Justin Scoggins is an up and comer, and he seems to be on the incline. He's coming off of a win. His strikings look really crisp. He's always been a good striker. He's a Taekwondo, I believe, karate background. So he likes to he can use a lot of unorthodox strikes, kicking. He's got all kinds of weapons and tools in his arsenal. Ian McCall is more of a boxing type, fighter. He's got a lot of good feints, got some pretty good footwork, and he's got good power. I'd give a power advantage to Ian McCall. I'd give the diversity of striking advantage to Justin Scoggins. Both these guys are decent grapplers. Scoggins, I believe, is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not using any notes. I'm doing this all impromptu, so make sure you do your own research there. I'm just giving my leans here. But Ian McCall he's got a background in some wrestling. He's got good MMA wrestling, got good takedown defense. I think this one's going to stay on the feet, where Justin Scoggins is going to have a definitive advantage with his unorthodox striking. However, he can be in danger at any one moment, given that Ian McCall does have the power to knock guys out at that weight class. So, but I think Justin Scoggins is going to pick Ian McCall apart. He's going to keep him at distance. He's going to keep him guessing with his unorthodox strikes, and he's going to get the better of the exchanges. So my prediction here is for Justin Scoggins to defeat Ian McCall by decision. Moving on to the next fight, we've got Francisco Cisco Rivera and Eric Goyito Perez. Both these guys are good fighters. Francisco Rivera has kind of alternated on wins and losses. Eric Perez is coming off of a win in his last fight. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I remember that he put on a pretty good performance. We actually won money on that fight for our clients, and he looked pretty good. He looked well improved in his last matchup, and that was actually against Taylor Lapilus, Double Impact Lapilus. which was somewhat surprising because Lopulus was the favorite in that bout. And I think Perez kind of surprised some people there. So Perez looked good. He fought a tough opponent in Brian Caraway and came off of that loss to come back for a win. I like Perez here. I believe he's an underdog. I haven't checked the odds on him. He's actually the favorite here by far. Francisco Rivera, you can't sleep on Francisco Rivera, though. He has definite power to be able to knock guys out. He's not the smartest as far as his exchanges and the way that he fights. He comes in and he throws heavy leather without regard to his own safety. So it's kind of a kill or be killed mentality there with Rivera. And I expect him to do the same here with Perez and try to finish him early. That could leave him open for some of the slick transitions of Eric Perez for submission. I kind of see the same thing happening here that we saw with Francisco Rivera versus John Lineker with the submission there. I think Eric Perez will wear him down with his MMA wrestling if he gets a chance. He will try to pick him apart with strikes and try to avoid the power of Francisco Rivera. I think Perez is going to be the smarter, more crafty fighter here. I think he will at some point be able to lock in a submission on Francisco Rivera. So my prediction here is for Eric Perez to defeat Francisco Rivera by submission. Next fight, we have Immortal Matt Brown versus Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger has not looked good at all in any of his recent fights. Matt Brown has always looked good. He never really was on a decline at all. He's just fought really tough opponents. He's fought the who's who in the UFC, and we've seen a lot of footage on him. We know that he is a pressure fighter, and he likes to get guys up against the cage and throw those crazy elbows that he throws. He's got excellent Muay Thai, excellent diversity of strikes, excellent ground game. He can hang with the best of them, including Damian Maia. He was surviving, but Maia just was too overwhelming for him. Ellenberger's just not looked good. Ellenberger's a great fade here. I would be super surprised if he knocked Matt Brown out. That would be a super big upset there. That would be a big upset. I just don't see Matt Brown leaving himself open to being KO'd by Ellenberger, but you can't ever count guys out. As we've seen, there's been a lot of crazy shit that's happened this year. But I can justify the price here on Matt Brown. I think he's a 3-1 favorite or close to 4-1 possibly. Actually, he's at -270, so I think you're getting a little bit of value there. I think he wins this one 5 times, 5 out of 6 times, honestly. I don't have any faith in Ellenberger whatsoever. He's a good MMA guy, but Matt Brown is just too overwhelming for most guys. And I see that happening here for Ellenberger. The only thing that worries me a little bit is Matt Brown coming in too aggressive and maybe getting clipped. But I think the likelihood of that happening and the chin of Matt Brown should hold up fairly well. So my prediction here is for Matt Brown to finish and defeat Jake Ellenberger by strikes. I'd say TKO in the second round. Next fight, we have Rose Thug Namajunas, or Namajunas, whichever way people are pronouncing it. I always butcher these names. Versus Carolina Kawakawa, the Polish striker. She's also, mind you, got very good and slick transitions and submissions. I think that she can hang here with Rose, but I think there's going to be a submission and grappling advantage that goes to Rose here. Can't count out Kawakawa with her ability to get women in trouble with arm bars. She likes to latch on to limbs and tear them off. So there's definitely a danger there. But if anybody can defend something like that, Thug Rose is the one to be able to do it. I see a pretty evenly matched striking battle between these two women. Both of these women have good takedown defense. I would say that Carolina has better takedown defense than Rose, although Thug Rose has improved her takedown defense recently. I don't know that Thug Rose is going to be able to get this one to the ground. I'd be surprised. So I think that Kawakawa is a live dog here, but I would have to say that I give an advantage to Thug Rose. She's just come leaps and bounds in her MMA game, and I just don't see her losing this. It could be a little bit closer than what people would suggest here. They're not giving any respect here to Kawakawa. She's almost a 2-1 dog, and I think that's good money there on the dog. But if I'm gonna go with my gut here, I think that UFC fan favorite here is Namajunas, and I think that the UFC likes her, Dana likes her, and I think we're gonna see her get another title shot. So my prediction here is for Thug Rose to defeat Carolina Kawakawa by, I'd go with like a split decision or unanimous decision. Probably unanimous. And the main event, the one we're waiting for so that we can see who's going to fight, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who I've been touting this whole year and who we've just been cashing in on, who people have doubted. Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Tyrone Woodley. This one's going to be exciting. Somebody's getting finished here. I do not see this one going all 5 rounds. I'd be surprised to see it go over 2.5 rounds. However, we've seen crazy things happen, and we could see both of these guys taking some heavy shots in the beginning and somehow surviving. I don't think Tyrone Woodley is fit to go 5 rounds. I don't think he can handle those championship rounds, and I think he's going to get worn down by the tenacity and the persistence of Robbie Lawler. The heart of Robbie Lawler is what's going to win him this one. The only way that I see Robbie Lawler losing this fight, honestly, is if he gets rocked in the first or second round and gets finished and gets knocked out, literally knocked out cold. I do not see Woodley laying and praying. I do not see Woodley having the energy to go 5 rounds and keep shooting for takedowns. Eventually, Robbie Lawler is going to start stuffing those takedowns when Woodley gets tired. He's a big man. He has worked on his cardio, but you got to keep in mind this guy, the one who's cut out for the 5-round fight is Lawler. Lawler's been there time and time again. He's been there, defended his belt, and he's been in many 5-round fights. So he knows what it's like being in the deep waters. Woodley, on the other hand, he tends to fade in those kind of long fights. So we're either going to see this one go really quickly, or we're going to see it kind of wear on to the 3rd round where there could possibly be a finish, or an early finish for either one of these guys. But I honestly think that the longer the fight goes, the more in favor it's going to go for Robbie Lawler here. And Woodley still has that great wrestling background, but I just don't. I mean, if a guy like Hendricks is getting stuffed, who is a national fucking champion wrestler, do you think fucking Tyrone Woodley's going to have better success than Hendricks is going to have? No, he's not going to. And, Lawler's just going to do the same thing that he did with Hendricks. He's going to stuff those takedowns. He might get taken down once or twice, but he's going to slip back out, get up against the cage, and get back to his feet again. So I don't know what people are thinking and why they're taking Woodley here. The odds are tightening up, but I still think Robbie Lawler's good here. I really do. And if you're going to put your money on anybody, I would put it on Lawler. I don't know why. And it'd be a bad promotion for Woodley and for the UFC. It's not going to be an exciting fight to see Woodley versus Wonderboy. Everybody wants to see Wonderboy versus Lawler. It just makes complete sense for the promotion, and it makes complete sense for the ratings as well as for the money aspect. So, don't waste your money putting on the dog here. But we've seen this year, we've seen some crazy shit that just is not wasn't good for the promotion whatsoever. It's like, WTF. Like, what is Dana and what's going on here? Why are they making these matchups that are just screwing over their money fighters as far as promotionally? So, but I think Lawler can handle this one. I think he's got this. I'd be very surprised if he did it. That'd be very odd. But yeah, so my prediction here is for Robbie Lawler to defeat Tyrone Woodley by unanimous decision. And that about wraps it up for the main card. Make sure that you are signed up, for your whatever sports book you go with, because there's going to be some good live betting opportunities here on this card. I believe that we're going to see some odds. You could get Robbie Lawler at a really nice price if he gets hurt early by Woodley, but survives. So if it looks like he's getting hurt early, be prepared to pull the trigger on a live bet on Lawler. because he is a hard guy to put away. Everybody keeps saying how his chin's going to give out eventually. It hasn't. We just see that will of Robbie Lawler, and I think it's gonna. I don't think he's going to lose here. I really don't. So be prepared for that live bet on Lawler if you see him get rocked or if you see him get taken down several times. Eventually, Woodley will get tired. I'm telling you this. He will fade. So, and that's when the will of Robbie Lawler will take over in the fight. So keep that in mind. Anyway, moving on. I'll give you my gut picks here. These are complete gut picks and based off of just my gut. Take them with a grain of salt, like I said. Cesar Arzamendia versus Damian Brown. I'm going with Goku here to defeat the Australian. I'm going to go by submission here. We've got Ryan Benoit versus Freddie Serrano. And this one's going to be a slugfest. I think one guy's going to get dropped here. And I would say that the guy getting dropped is going to be Serrano here. Next fight, we have Michael Graves versus Bohan Velikovic. I think Velikovic should have lost his last fight against the Italian that he fought. He got kind of a gimme there. He got a break. Michael Graves is not going to give him a break. He's going to pin him up against the cage, take him down, and wear him down. And he's going to be the guy on top the majority of the time. Michael Graves by unanimous decision. Next fight, we have Wilson Hayes versus Hector Sandoval. I'm going with Wilson Hayes to come through with either a dominant finish or, Jesus, get this shit out of here. A dominant finish or a unanimous decision. Wilson Hayes to defeat Hector Sandoval. I'm going to go with a finish here. I'm going with a submission. And Anthony Hamilton versus Damian Grabowski, the Polish pit bull. I'm going with the freight train to defeat Damian Grabowski by TKO. Ross the Real Deal Pearson versus Jorge Masvidal. I like the underdog here in a small play. Ross Pearson to defeat Jorge Masvidal by split decision. Nikita Krylov versus Ed Herman. Going with Nikita Krylov to defeat Ed Herman by TKO. That about wraps it up, guys. Thank you for your patience. Sorry that this one got out to you guys late. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Best MMA Picks. We also have Instagram at Best MMA Picks. And all of our commentary will be on those too. Actually, more so on Twitter. Thank you, and make sure you subscribe below. And everybody have a good weekend. We will make sure you tune in and enjoy the fights. Thank you.